Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to Shiprocket webinar, which we are hosting today. So I will have Atul along with me, and we will have. So how this will be structured around is that we will have a small case study to start with. Then we will have a chat session with Atul, and then in the end we would have a Q&A session. To make it more useful and fruitful, we request you guys that for all the questions that you have, right, just give a brief description about you and your business, right? So the information that we require to give you a more pinpointed answer to your queries is your name, your company name, the product category you deal in, and the size of the business currently, right? And then the query, right? So that we can give a more pertinent, more focused response to your query. All right. So we start first with a small case study, right? So there's this brand we're talking about, which is Catch, right? So Catch is working with us for now approximately more than 2 years, right? They have grown multifold with us. In last 1 year, they have grown decently, right? When so just a brief introduction about Catch. So they deal in apparels, AOV approx $1,000, right? Uh, Doing good volumes, right? Can't share those details for obvious reasons. So when they reached out to us, so some of the challenges they were facing is that they have high COD, their delivery performance was not up to the mark, their RTO was high, right? So these are some of the business problems they approached us with, right? But we have done over time with them is we have improved their delivery performance by 15 percentage points. We have and obviously because we improved their delivery performance, then they increased their marketing, and then the resulted in increase in order volume. I think this is a few months performance itself, and if I look at a wider horizon, then we are talking about a much better number, right? Uh, about Catch, we have already discussed. Now, what? Yes, so these were the challenges they said. They said they were low delivery performance. Their SLA was an issue, high COD, low SLA. Pickups was a big problem they were facing with their current courier partner, and because the things were not falling in place, they were not able to scale, right? So, which was leading to a decreased growth in volume. So what we did as a solution is that uh, we started focusing first on their COD, right? We gave them some of the pin code where they should not market. We selected the couriers basis the performance that we had the information about, and which resulted in the better delivery performance also. We set up a weekly meeting, performance reviews with them to look at their marketing strategies, right? To guide them on pin codes where they should focus on, right? And then resulting in a better delivery percentage, even on a COD orders also, right? As I mentioned earlier, the courier allocation strategy was purely dependent on, the pin codes where they were getting the orders. So we at Shiprocket has this intelligence, right? That where on which lanes the which courier is performing well. So once the Catch became open to us and starting their information from where they are getting orders, we started suggesting them the better couriers which they should use, which can help them to get a better delivery percentages. Also, they are available across 4 warehouses across 4 metros. They started using our same day deliveries and next day deliveries as a service also, right? uh, yeah, so outcome improvement in delivery performance. Reverse, because they deal in apparel, so that was one of the biggest challenges they were facing. And in reverse, the biggest challenge per se is that it should get picked up from the customer on time, right? So we started it working closely with them and picked up the reverse, and pick up at the reverse improved drastically for them. SLA commitments and compliance increased, and which resulted into the higher volume growth, right? So this is about Shiprocket. So if any of you wants to work with us, and if you want any information, you can reach out to us at sales@shiprocket.com, or my email ID is aseem.goyal@shiprocket.com, and this is our central number, right? We move to our second section of the webinar, wherein we will have a chat with Atul, who is our CEO. Let me give you a brief introduction about Atul first. So Atul is a CEO of Shiprocket India business. He joined us around 1.5 years back. Before this, Atul was with Amazon, leading the pantry business for them for approximately, I think, 5 years. Before that, with Unilever for a decade, mainly into FMCG business, and yeah, sales, marketing, all the verticals he has worked in. I would like to welcome Atul. Hey, Atul, are you there?
Yeah, hi, Aseem. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome.
I'm not able to switch on the video, so I'll maybe somebody will have to enable it for me.
Okay.
Uh, but good to have you. I can see almost 100 people listening in. So super excited. I think the idea is to have a freewheeling conversation around how can we help you grow the business basis whatever we have learned from merchants who have worked with us. I think the key is that the post checkout experience in today's e-commerce world is as important as the pre-checkout experience, right? So while it is important to show the right catalog to the buyers, courtesy buyers shopping so much on marketplaces like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, they expect a great post-checkout experience. And we are on that journey to make it very easy for thousands of merchants to access that brilliant post-checkout experience so that a lot of entrepreneurs like you can focus on creating demand, while what happens after you've got the demand is taken care by companies like us so that we can help you scale your business. So that's the intent. And yeah, we'll through the conversation maybe talk a bit about how do we do that and share some insights on what we have seen with working with other merchants. Yeah.
So Atul, few questions that we already have for you, right? Which I think would be pertinent for a lot of the participants, right? And in the end, we will get into Q&A session, wherein we will have a specific questions being asked by the participants, right? And then you can guide them, right? So the first question I want to, which I think all of us want to know from you, from your experience, is that that the small businesses struggle, right? They struggle between two basic questions, that they should focus on surviving or thriving, right? Where do they should put their energy behind, right? Or put their money behind. So what's your view around that?
See, I think uh, I think for any small business, the key first is to be able to define the customer segment. Which customer segment are we targeting? What is the customer insight? What problem am I solving? Right? If you look at any successful brand, a brand becomes successful if you are able to zero in on the customer insight and the problem you are solving for your customers. And I'll urge every small business, because at when the scale is smaller, you can reach out to your customers, in this case buyers, understand why somebody bought you, why did they buy you, did you meet up on their expectations or not, what were they expecting. Spend a lot of time doing consumer research. Like I remember in Unilever, when I was the brand manager for Pepsodent, we used to spend almost one day in a fortnight or a month going to customers' houses, right? And talking to the mothers who have bought Pepsodent for their kids, understanding why did they buy, or if somebody bought competition, why did they buy, what part of my communication, what part of my product experience, the cap, the way the toothpaste comes out, what they saw on TV, etc. What are they liking? And how much is it in sync with what, as a story, as a brand owner, I was trying to tell, right? So for any small business, I'll say focus a lot more on understanding the customer insight, what you believe your product is trying to be built on top of, what customer problem are you trying to solve, validate that. But once you have identified that, right, then it is all about thriving. Then you should double down, because once you have hit the product market fit for your offering and you feel confident, and confidence can come from numbers, but numbers alone will never give you the right picture, because there's a correlation, causality can always impact whether it is causality or correlation. So always talk to your customers. As a small business, you can afford to do that. uh, and once you have hit that product market fit, I'll say just thrive. There's no point survive till you have identified what your PMF is.
Thanks. I think this was a very important for everybody I have always interacted with, right? Like that, at what point should we just start putting our marketing dollars more into the business, right? And I think, as you rightly said, survive till the point you don't achieve the PMF. Once you hit the product market fit, then just go all out, right? Thanks, Atul. Atul, the next question is mainly about the future, right? That how do you see this industry, right? Specifically D2C, but overall, right? The industry moving in the next 2 to 3 years, right? What's your view around that? Like how this SMB industry, the sellers you see growing, how do you think that market will evolve?
Yeah, I think direct commerce, which is merchants buying directly from brands to their websites or non-traditional brands, the non-Unilever Proctors of the world. If you look at any example like US, that's 40-50% of overall commerce. And I'm only talking online commerce right now, right? We are today potentially at 10 to 15%. So that's the headroom to grow. And I'll tell you some of the consumer trends which will drive that. Like if you see the level of awareness which we have today of products around us, right? Of whether, like, let's talk health. There's so many health supplements which are there today, B12 supplements, D supplements, this and that, which 10 years back, without the access to internet and without access to information, we are not aware of. Today, you have caffeinated beauty products, I'm caffeine, for example, right? We 10 years back was the era of a Lux Lifebuoy and maybe a a lime soap or a Lyril was a differentiator. Today, that's not the case. And the reason being, my aspiration that the consumers have evolved as I'm becoming more and more aware of what's happening in the world around me. And I think that trend is not going to stop. We are going to get more and more niche in our expectations from brands. I will expect brands to personalize a lot of stuff for me. I will expect them to cater to my demands and needs. I am going to look out for more and more brands outside the traditional brands I have engaged with for the last 10 years. And hence, I think at the source of it, entrepreneurship and innovation in the SMB segment is going to continue and thrive. I think the key is, like, does India become 40% in 5 years? Does it become in 10 years or 15 years? Is a function of how committed the entrepreneurs, a lot of them on the call today, are in listening to your consumer. Like, listen to your consumers, identify what works. I'm saying the faster we do that, the more proactively we do that, the quicker we'll be able to get to that mission. This market is here to survive. And if anyone needs any validation, just look at how your bathroom or kitchen looked like 10 years back to what it looks like today.
Like,
and it is not going back to what it was 10 years back.
So I was about to ask the same, from your Unilever days, right? At that time, I'm sure 80% of product portfolio being used is Unilever, right? Like, but how does your wardrobe, your, personal products, your kitchens, your bathrooms look like today? Like, do you see a drastic change if you go back to those days?
There's a massive change. I remember when 10 years back, getting people to try conditioners or body lotions used to be a key job to be done, right? Today, we are talking about onion-based conditioners or coconut milk-based conditioners or hair serums or scalp serums, or, like, I'm saying, the amount of categories which have been created. Right. And it is not just categories getting created. There are consumers who are lapping it up. Because, self-care or spending on yourself or spending on discretionary has also gone up. Yeah. And that is where I think the aspirational based spending and the personalized based spending, I need something which I need for myself, has gone up. And that's driving a lot of innovation, entrepreneurship, etc. along the way.
Nice. So now we go little deeper into the operations, your logistics part, right? Now we have discussed a bit about the industry overall, right? So, so can you give some views around, basis your experience talking to sellers, managing large businesses, right? That how do business owner manage their inventory and supply chain with an intent that they don't bleed, as well as provide a best-in-class experience to their customers, right? So from that lens. So what are the good, some points would you like to recommend to our listeners?
I think I'll split it into two. Yeah, one is the supply chain piece. So there's this element of sourcing and figuring out where you are producing, right? And I think that's a function of what product category you are dealing in, and that can be very specific. But I think first and foremost, even at whatever scale you are, 100, 200, 300 shipments, the experience you are delivering for your buyer after they have placed an order is super important, right? From a supply chain perspective. And being very close to, that's the industry we operate in. I think we see the number of delight points which can be there and the number of break points which can be there. And I strongly urge everyone to look for partners, if not us, partners like us, who can offer you operations in a box. And because there's so many elements of right from when the order was placed, are you telling your buyers what time is the delivery going to come? Are you keeping them updated on what is happening with your order? Regular emails, SMS. Now, SMS no one reads. WhatsApp going from a branded number, right? That builds a lot of trust in the mind of the buyer. Like if I'm getting regular notification from somebody, I'll be more sort of inclined to be shopping again from them. So I think some of these critical elements of experience, tracking page, is it an immersive branded tracking page or a web 1.0 where you go to a courier website and enter the number? That's like, I'm not going to do copy paste. Don't get me to do 5 copy paste, please. I should have a link where I click and I should be able to know where my shipment is, when is it coming. There are failure points of NDRs or something else. How seamlessly is the workflow being able to manage? I think that those are elements which are extremely important to manage, irrespective of what size scale of the business you are. In fact, as you are smaller, right, you can spend more time working with partners to be able to create that experience. See, always look at supply chain and logistics as post-checkout experience versus logistics. It's a mental shift. Post-checkout experience, delivery experience. I'll give you an example. Amazon has 2 big teams. One is the CX team, which is called the customer experience team. You know what they do? They look at search, right? Detail page experience. When you open today, Amazon Gateway, upar hello hai, upar kuch likha hua hai, grocery, fashion. Then there are new cards. Then you search. How's the search there? Are suggestions coming? Detail page. What is happening on the detail page or the glance view page, etc. This is a massive team which works on CX. But there's an equally big team which works on something called DX, which is delivery experience, which starts from detail page pe kya promise hai, which starts from when you place an order, which warehouse will it go to, which starts from how will the return flow work when it needs to, which starts from how will the communication happen. Prime as a function reports into delivery experience. Prime is a massive program for Amazon. They have invested in it. So that will give you a quantum of how important delivery experience along with customer experiences. And I'll say for everyone, start investing in benchmarking your delivery experience and figuring out ways how you can improve it from day one. I think there's this other element of the supply chain, which is inventory planning, right? I'll say till the time you are a 2,000, 3,000 shipment business, you can still manage it manually. Potentially you're operating from one location on one place. You're selling at 1 or 2 channels only. But I think as you scale, as you get into 2 locations or 3 locations, which you should, because that helps you get a faster promise, you do need to invest in a good WMS, a good fulfillment service solution, so that then you can focus a lot more on creating demand, so that your fulfillment partner or the warehousing partner or the technology partner there is ensuring the right order is going to the right location, and the right delivery experience partner is ensuring your buyer gets it at the right time with all the updates possible.
Now we know why Amazon is Amazon, right?
Yeah.
From day one, they focused on delivery,
Yes.
which is critical. I think which is critical.
Yeah.
We realized after being in this part. Atul, the next thing which a lot of a lot of early stage brands, SMB players specifically complain or struggle about is a COD and with that related to RTO, right? So what are your views around it? That how can they handle that particular bit? And I would like to I request you to split into 2 parts, both the COD as well as RTO separately, right? And how do you think that these brands, the early stage brands can focus on, because eventually one, the Indian economy is a COD driven economy, right? Second, it's a trust issue. So whatsoever you do, you have to open COD, and your initial business will be 80-85% COD, right? So what's your view around it? How the brand should focus on this particular aspect and what they can do to ensure that it doesn't hit them badly in terms of bleed?
Yeah. So So I think the starting point of this is not to be overwhelmed with it. There are enough and many tools and ways through which you can sustainably run a COD business, right? One of the key element of COD orders is, the impulse orders, which then the merchant ends up returning, or the buyer ends up returning. So COD confirmation becomes an important element of that. There are solutions like we have engaged. There are other setups as well, where the entire process of intelligence around COD order is there in the ecosystem today. See, as the D2C ecosystem has evolved, the enabler ecosystem has also evolved. And that's what I want to tell all 150, 200 participants here, that if you have a challenge, right, maybe Shiprocket can solve 70% of them. There are still enablers who are solving every challenge which you are facing on the way. Once you come out of that mindset of not being overwhelmed and start seeking out the right answers, you'll have a solution. So I'll give you an example of how we solve it, right? Every COD order which we get, we are able to flag it as high, medium, low risk return RTO. Basis historical intelligence of millions and millions of orders which I have processed in the past through my ML algorithm, right? Then for the high risk ones, I'm able to get an order confirmation done from the buyer before even I create the AWP through a seamless WhatsApp flow, through our product called Engage. Then I'm able to flag the addresses as high risk, medium risk, low risk, right? Depending on the quality of the address. If I put house number and not the tower and not the location, I'm able to prompt the buyer to say, please give me an updated address, sir. Like I won't be able to deliver it. Unnecessarily, it will lead to an RT. Then I'm able to create workflows of sort of incentivizing buyers to say, why don't you convert it from a COD to prepaid? I'll give you, say, something off, etc. Then keeping the buyers updated. Remember, I placed an order, I'm going to get it 4 or 5 days back. There's a 60% chance I'll potentially forget about it, right? So keeping me updated on your order has been shipped, right? And making it part of the brand ethos. Suppose I've ordered a fashion jacket, right? Imagine me receiving a message, oh, can't wait to see you in the white denim you have ordered. I'm sure you look great. It is coming to you in 2 days. I potentially am going to receive that, right? Because I'm now also excited about how am I going to look at it in the white denim. Versus the guy lands up on my house, I am at office and my wife calls and saying, somebody has come with a packet and is asking for 1,700. I'll say, I don't even remember what I had ordered here. Just reject the order, right? So using intelligence, using communication, and there are NDR workflows. I'm sure a lot of people are aware of when an NDR happens. Finding the right partner to manage those workflows so that you are able to seamlessly, without any intervention, focus on generating the order, rely on your partners. For some of those who are working with us on the call, I'll say push your cams on saying, help me reduce RTO. Right? Help me manage COD better. I have not been doing. For those of you who are working with us, not doing cash on delivery, reach out, or you can write on the mail address which Aseem has shared. Or if you have a cam, ask them, I want to start COD, guys. Help me. You are the enablers. It's your job to help me scale that business. And I'm sure we'll be able to do it. And similarly for the other challenges which you might have around it.
Cool. Atul, one last question, and before that we move to Q&A. So what are the new trends you are seeing in D2C nowadays, right? Like from the operations perspective, or like overall as a theme perspective, what are some of the things that you think any seller or every seller should focus on, because these are the next big things which are coming up in this industry? So any views around that?
See, I won't say next big things. I think I talked about the differentiation on the CX side. I think sourcing, being more and more specific on what your offering is, being sharper to the customer insight, that will continue. That has been the trend. That has gotten this industry till this stage. And that is what is going to take it to the next level. I think a lot more on the post-checkout experience, which we see now that we have the ecosystem built, right? Like we say, Shopify plus Shiprocket plus Razorpay equals to an Amazon. Like Shopify was always there. I think Razorpay has scaled. We are also on a journey of scaling that we can enable people to be able to offer that experience. Now that we are here, bridging the gap of what a customer sees when he's shopping on a marketplace versus when he's shopping here, I think is going to be a key sort of trend which you'll see. People investing more and more on the post-checkout experience, spending more and more on offering faster deliveries. So today, if you go to a lot of D2C websites, you're not able to see a promise, a time definite promise. You go to Amazon, it says order within the next X minutes, get it by Y. 6 months down the line, you'll see a lot of D2C websites giving you that promise. The ecosystem will have to build solutions around that. Today, when you go to Amazon, most of the stuff is coming in 2 to 3 days at best. A lot of it coming next day. Not so much on the D2C side. 6 months down the line, you will see a lot of websites being able to offer a 1 day or a 2 day promise. You go to a lot of fashion websites, you feel worried about ordering them because you're not sure how the return workflow will work. What are the return SOPs? Where am I able to order return from? Amazon, I'm very confident here. I'll be able to return it. There's a very seamless interface. You'll see a lot of people being able to do that seamlessly in the next 6-9. So I think those are some of the pieces of, and fundamentally, what are we saying? We're saying there's an experience which you get on a marketplace.
Yeah.
Marketplace discovery is very poor, Aseem, by the way. You try to search for the brand on Amazon, but there are thousands of brands. It's so tough to find it.
Agreed.
Because they're saying, यार उसके बाद का experience बहुत तोड़ू है.
Right.
Right. और उसके बाद का experience is also is what we need to sort of make it clean. I think there's a question on not being able to see.
I think, yeah, the team is working. Just give me 1 second, Atul. We are moving to Q&A session. I'm just trying to get the questions that we have received from our participants. Yeah, so we have Upwan from paint.com, right? His question seems a little incomplete, that we are into spray paint e-commerce business model, focusing more to elevate online sales. So Upwan, if you could please ask your question again, like what exactly is your query over there? And are you into B2B space or a B2C space? I think that will help Atul to answer better. What is the storage rent for unsold products? I wish to start garment business. I think
you can just drop in a mail to say that with some
so
details.
for the queries which you are not able to answer now, or we say that please give more elaborate queries, you can drop in a mail at sales or Aseem.goyal@Shiprocket, and we will align people to respond back to those queries. Right? There's a question by Papia Nag. I want to understand, is there a system by which we as a seller can get AWB tracking through WhatsApp on the registered mobile number? If I could understand your question, is that when the AWB gets generated, you as a seller wants to have that information on your mobile number. Is that your question? Papia, if you could just mention on chat.
Yeah, I think just to add on this, for the buyers, we have now solutions here. Like Engage is one. We have launched WhatsApp communication through which the buyers are going to be updated about what's happening to their shipment on real-time basis. And we're seeing a lot of benefit of that. The buyers, जो anxiety होती है, where is my order? कल आएगा, परसों आएगा, equivalent, etc. That is being managed. That gets managed really well. I think for the merchant, for the seller, given you might have 10, 15 AWBs, sending all of them on WhatsApp might be overwhelming. But if there's a need and just detail it out.
I think we can talk it to product team to just explore, case how big is the demand? If there is, I think we can park it there.
Yeah.
So Upwan, I think, has asked a question again. My question is related to improving the online sales. We are selling spray paint with our in-house manufacturing. Okay. So
I'm also reading question. I'll take Rani's question. Yeah. Which is they are launching a cold beverage in the market by early next year in outskirts of Bangalore and towards Bangalore. You're already working with Porter, or you think Porter is doing well. So just to explain, like Porter will be a partner for me. See, we don't have our own fleet, but we work with multiple people to be able to enable that experience. So take this example. You want to move goods across Bangalore from point A to point B, multiple points. Porter is one partner. We can help you have multiple partners. So that you can use Porter for 60% of the cases, but maybe use 20% for 20% on Page. There's a partner called Page, miles away. There could be delivery, which can do that. And then have your buyers updated about what's happening to the orders at all time. The experience pieces around it, managing cash on delivery, equivalent, etc. That becomes easier.
And also, Atul, I think what value does we add is that sometimes there is a possibility that one of the courier partner are performing. So for a seller to switch at that point of time is a cumbersome game, right? With us being there, that value is always there. We can easily switch, right? And we have seen it empty number of times when the peaks come, when the seasons come. Some courier partners systems break down, right? Like, and it's an operation, so the breakdown is supposed to happen, right? So I think that way it's critical to have your backups available.
Correct.
And the next question is, I'm a small business owner, therefore we don't have GST registration, and in order to ship international, they always ask for IEC. I think for this we need to align with the international team. So Nandini, we will ask.
Yeah, we'll take your. I think IC is required to ship outside. But you're saying for the gift option, if there's a way out, we'll let the team circle back. You can just share your coordinates and we'll have the team circle back on the same. Yeah.
So Lavina has asked how to use services on bulk order, which is about 300 kgs or more, and your hyper local services are not provided. How about working on this within Mumbai? I think with 300 kgs and more would be more of a B2B shipments, which we have as a service.
Yeah.
We would need B2B team to reach out. Lavina, we will ask. And hyperlocal is something, Lavina, Atul, I think we are scaling it up and soon we will be available across India. Yeah. Especially the all metros.
Right.
Priya, your query we have noted. We will ask the operations team to get in touch with you, which is delaying delivery. Then Monil has asked that we are launching a clothing brand next year, February, and it's our first time doing online through website. So please let me know how will the experience of us in context of now, how will you get information of the order and how will it work? I think, Monil, you're more concerned about the demo of our product. So we will align somebody to do a proper demo for you of our services. We'll do that.
I think Rajiv has a question, an interesting one, right? They were asked, what difference does it make to directly approach delivery through their panel compared to selecting delivery through Shiprocket's panel? I think it's a very important and a relevant question, and I do want to take this. I think, see, if you are looking at only a partner to take things from point A to point B, we also work with delivery to help goods move from point A to point B, right? You have to look at the value which Shiprocket adds and take a judgment call on, do you believe that is adding value to your business or not? Shiprocket gives you access to 3, 4, 5 different partners so that you can balance it out, the load, select the right partner for the right combination of shipments, have somebody manage your shipments. At Shiprocket, there's a 60-70 member operations team. The operation is very similar to what an Amazon operation would be, where somebody is looking at how many shipments are in transit, how many were not picked up, following up with the couriers on ensuring the stuff is happening. Value-added tools like WhatsApp communication, which I talked about, Engage, which I talked about. We have something for checkout. We have something for fulfillment as a solution. So the entire gamut of experiences, and we do work very closely with partners like Delivery, Blue Dart. And we believe we are able to build on top of them to be able to enhance the experience. Now, if you believe you can do all of them through captive teams, you have 3, 4 member operations team, you have people calling up for COD orders, you have somebody who's looking at all those things on a daily basis, maybe, yeah, the value add is lesser. But I'll give you an example. There are 470 scans which I get from Delivery or a Blue Dart. Different scans of where the shipment is. And Like we have to continuously keep innovating to say, I will translate them into customer facing simpler implementation. There are API changes which happen. So all that gets managed seamlessly on a panel or on a place like Shiprocket. And that's why we say we are operations in a box. We are this one-stop solution. We are not an alternate to delivery. We are not an alternate to Porter. We are building on top of them. So if you want logistics, maybe yes. But if you want delivery experience, or if you are looking at a post-checkout experience, if you want to compete or in your mind saying, yeah, Amazon video experience, I want to give a better experience, then I strongly urge you to consider us or the likes of us. But if it is just temporary moving goods from point A to point B and it is only the price which matters, yeah, like, I don't know. Access is just one of the pieces which we solve. The workflows, the data, the intelligence, the value-added products, the services on top of it is what makes truly the difference, why merchants work with us and why they stick to us.
Yeah, so a lot of people are asking very specific AWP level. I think these are some operational queries they have. So we are noting it down, not taking in this session, but we are noting it down and we'll align our operations team to solve all of this. So continue doing that, and please don't mind if you don't take those queries here, right? Just an information for that. Atul, somebody has asked a query regarding, do we have ShopClues integration with us? I don't think so, right?
I think we'll have, otherwise, I think we do have ShopClues integration. So if ShopClues allows self-ship and you're getting orders from there. So we have multiple channel integrations. Your channel could be Shopify. You could upload an Excel sheet of orders, which is a bulk upload. You can manually create an order if you're getting orders from WhatsApp, Instagram, seamlessly process it, select the right courier partner and move ahead. So I don't think ShopClues, we can double click and check. If not, we can you again drop in a details at sales. It could be that there are some integration challenges which will get the tech team then to address. There's another interesting question. Sorry, I was also reading. It's coming from Hazel from Esther Adorn. What are services for safe delivery of high value products like jewelry? Also, being a small business, we face trouble in speeding up package pickup time post checkout. What could help speed this process up? Thanks for this, Hazel. I think two things. One, we have insurance which you can avail of on shipments, which are doing through Shiprocket, where if the product value is greater than 5K, the entire value gets insured. If something happens to the shipment for semi-precious jewelry and high-value items, we recommend you use air services from reliable partners like Delivery, Blue Dart, Express B, because that reduces the transit time and any risk of anything happening during the transit gets taken care of. Trouble in speeding up the package pickup time post checkout. Maybe like you'll have to share some details. We can offline circle back on, is it your warehouse packaging or is it after the warehouse has packed and is ready to ship out, the time which is taking for us to get the packages picked up.
Atul, I think we can wrap up this session.
Maybe we can.
For the questions, because
there are many questions. I'm just scanning through and we'll want to cover most of them. I'll just skim through if there's any unique. Any plan to introduce open box delivery service for customers? A question from Prabhu. Not right now, but if we see there's a lot of demand, we can work some workflows around it and talk to the partners and get this enabled for us as well. My vendors are home runners, some at Rogate location, do not have printing facility. No, Bhavna, the labels do need to be printed. We have done some pilots on the manual one. What happens there is the shipments at times get lost because somebody didn't do a good job. And I think while trial, jugaad we don't want to do. Right? So we're saying, yeah, you do print the label and then only send it. Otherwise, yeah, it becomes tricky. Why should I go through Shiprocket? What makes Shiprocket so special? What makes Shiprocket different from other delivery companies? Like I said, a question from Nikhil. We are not a delivery company. We are a delivery experience company. We are a post-checkout experience company. If you want to delight your customers, with an amazing post-checkout experience. Shiprocket has to be your partner. You have to be demanding. I'll have to live up to it. There are places where we will fail. Operations is intensive, but our motto, our heart, our vision, our purpose is to be able to deliver a great post-checkout experience. And that's what we strive for. Every day, that's what my team focuses on, that how can I bridge the gap between an Amazon and what direct commerce is able to offer. If it is only about moving goods from point A to point B, yeah, then Shiprocket is no different from any other delivery company because I rely on them to do it. I help the tech integrations, I help with the workflows, I help with the seamless experience. That's what. Can you also channel integration with Wix? Yes, we do. Are you working with full truckload picking and delivery? We are not yet, but if there's a use case, we can explore. Like I said, we work with partners, so we don't do full truckload right now. There was another question on CS. I forgot, a very critical one. I do want to take that. I forgot who it was. Yeah, from Dinesh from Bhartiya Shilp had said CS has been a challenge. We are making some changes on our CS side. We are trying to automate a lot of it. I think it's also about it's not so simple as a normal CS operations. It's a B2B CS. So we are trying to automate a lot of use cases. You'll see that happening in the next 3-4 months, where a lot of manual intervention, which can lead to delay, will move away. It will be systems to systems talking. We are setting up a priority CS channel for SMB customers so that their specific queries, which would be very evolved, right, can be handled on priority. So you'll see a lot of action on CS happening. I think it's a constant area of focus and work for us, and we'll continue to do that. Yeah. I think I've skimmed through and covered some of the ones which I wanted to focus on. If we are wrapping up, Aseem, I'll just maybe take a couple of more minutes to
please,
sort of say again, yeah, I think I feel super excited about the times we are in, right? I feel super excited and humbled by saying at Shiprocket, our job is to enable entrepreneurship, right? By helping a lot of merchants like you to be able to deliver a great delivery experience. We are not 10 on 10 yet. We want to be 10 on 10. That's where our ethos is. That's where our heart is. And we will get there. We do want to partner with all of you. Some of you potentially are working with us. Thanks for that. Some of you are not, will want to. Some of you might not have had a bad experience. We'll come back and get you to start working with us again. We believe there's so much which is happening in this space. And by raising the bar on the post-checkout experience, we can truly make a difference. We'll want to hear more from you. There's a mail ID which was there. Just keep sharing if some of the questions which you have not been able to answer, the teams will try to address them and answer them. But yeah, we are here to partner. We are here to enable. Our existence is because you guys exist. As standalone, Shiprocket is no business. Shiprocket is a business which is there to support D2C and direct commerce. And we are humbled with the opportunity, and we want to thank all of you for getting us still where we are. And we continue to get better every day so that we can delight you and your buyers with every passing day.
Thanks, Atul. Thanks for your words. Thanks for your guidance. I am sure that, a lot of people who have joined will get a lot of inputs out of this and will, help them evolve their business. Thanks for your time. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Thank you. Have a nice week. Thank you. Bye-bye.